Okay, so here we are back. One thing I didn't mention in my little overview was the water filter. Obviously, in order to make great beer, you have to start with good water, right? So, this is just a standard household water filter that you use in your house, and it has an activated charcoal filter inside of it. Basically, it has a quarter-turn valve right here with a hose connection. So we can basically, I typically have a valve that I use to connect the hose onto this. It's just a short adapter, but connect the hose on, open up the valve. I usually throttle it down a little bit so I can get a little bit better filtering. And it just comes out of the braided steel line up here, and basically right into the top of the keg. And this keg, it hasn't really been altered. Well, I guess we didn't cut the top out because we really didn't see any need to, right? It's a hot liquor tank, and it basically just needs a small opening. Not like you really have to clean it out, you're just putting water in there every time. So basically, other than the spout on it, right? Spout and the temperature gauge. And honestly, we don't even really need this, because the pit is controlling, is measuring right here in the thermocouple, and we don't really even have to worry about that temperature. This thermometer, anyway. We got a little insulation on it just to hold temperature and so forth, but pretty straightforward. So, one thing I wanted to mention here. We get the quarter-turn ball valve. I use these stainless couplings on here so I can easily remove this, right? Because if I didn't have these, I wouldn't be able. I'd have to lug the. If I ever wanted to take this down, I'd have to screw around with like unscrewing a pump or something. So I just like pull these little levers here, and the thing pops right off. Right. Anyway, this is one of these solar pumps that you can buy on eBay. They're actually a really nice little pump. They run on 12 volts, and they come with the fittings already built onto them, made out of food-grade Riton material, and they're basically silent. A great little pump. There's been a little bit of debate on some of the forums about, I don't know. People just have different opinions, but as you can see, there's the thermocouple that's like inserted into here with a little gasket. So pretty straightforward. Obviously, the thermocouple comes down here to to the the hot liquor tank PID. And this is on right now, but it's not exactly active, right? It's just sitting here measuring room temperature. You can see it's a little chilly in the garage right now, but this is the temperature that it would normally be set at for like a mash out sparging operation. Normally that would be set a little bit lower for strike water. Unless your grain was like sitting out in the garage all night and it was 55 degrees. Anyway, so the only other controls we have here on this are the, obviously the PID. This is the heating element kill switch or enabler switch, and then they have the hot liquor tank pump. So basically, you need this on in order to use this, of course. So anyway, obviously after we get the hot water up to temperature and we pump it down into the mash tun, I can give you a little shot of the mash tun inside here. I think it's there's a false bottom down in there, and here's a little here's our little sparging head, right? Just hook a hose up onto this. That's all there is to it. So anyway, once we get doughed in, basically, we turn on this valve, and then typically we want to set this valve halfway first, okay? And then flick the pump on, okay? And then, like I said before, it goes through this, and then this is the RIMS tube here. It's made out of all copper, just has a heating element inside here, okay? And here is the thermocouple that measures the temperature. So as the wort is pumped through here, right, it's constantly being measured, the temperature is. And then of course it runs out here, up through this valve, and then up here into the hot liquor, the mash tun again. So the pit over here on the side basically is constantly trying to keep that temperature inside of the tube, and therefore inside of the mash tun, at 150 degrees, and it does a great job. In some of the following videos where we actually brew, you'll see it'll be homed right in 150, 150.2, 150.5, something like that. It really does a good job at holding the temperature very accurate. And of course we have the pump and heating element for this as well. So that's more or less, you can see we have the quick disconnects here on this pump as well. So we can basically just open these things up, pop the pump right off of the mash tun, and then, you know, at the end of the night we have to go clean the thing out. We don't go dragging our pump all over the countryside. So okay, so at the end of the mash, we basically just dump it right down into the boil kettle. See our boil kettle here, big 5500 watt element down in there, and you can see my dip tube is down in there. Oops, not a very good shot of it, but the dip tube doesn't go straight down to the bottom, and well, the reason why is we don't want to suck up all the goop that's you know, the proteins and things like that from the you know, from the wort, the boil, the hops even. So we basically just suck it off to the side there, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But essentially, we take off and we just basically boil using this manual controller here. This controls 240 volts, and you know, you can basically just dial the power up as you see fit. If it gets a little too hot and starts to look like it's going to boil over, you can just quickly, like, turn it down, turn it up, turn it down, real fast. No fuss, no muss. At the end of the boil, we basically open up the boil kettle valve. Once again, we have another pump here, and that's connected over to this valve. So we modulate the flow of this. It goes up into the Chiron wort chiller up here. See it mounted upside down there. But basically, there's a wort input here, and then the wort output, and then hoses in, hoses out. Pretty straightforward. It's a pretty cool little device. It works awesome, like I said. And single pass straight into the fermenter. No problem at all. And we also have a little switch over here for the wort pump, boil kettle pump. So the reason I have the computer out here is because I use Beersmith for the timers, mash timing and boil timing for hops, additions, things like that. So great program. If you ever never used it, it costs like 25 bucks or something like that. I know that our local home brew store here in North Carolina here will, I think they sell it for $21, and it's just a great program for that amount of money. Recipe development, all kinds of things. So very, very nice. So anyway, that's basically the system here, and at some point we will, you know, be brewing a beer, and we'll show you how that goes, all the way from crushing the grain to pitching the yeast. So hopefully you found this informative, and brew safe. Okay, thanks.